Hi, welcome back to my video. Okay, today I would like to look at the STEM degree award in the United States. And the STEM is stand for the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it is a heated topic, and it appears in many policy debates. And in the context of global economic competitions, the STEM fields are considered as the building block of United States economic leadership. President George W. Bush, in his 2006 American Competitiveness Initiative, is intended to address this issue. Okay. And in this video, we're going to be using the ICE definition of the STEM. Okay. There are a few prominent STEM definitions, and one is published by the National Science Foundation, and the other by the U.S. Education Department, and the third one is the one defined by the ICE, the Immigration and the Customs Enforcement Agency. And today we're going to use in the ICE definitions. And the ICE definitions basically divided to two parts. Okay, and one part is called the core, and that basically defined at the two-digit zip code levels. So there's a fourth two-digit zip code are considered a core, and these are the zip 14, the engineering, zip 26 and 27, the bioscience, and also the zip 40, the physical science. And beside that, the ICE also defined what we call a related field in the 6-digit zip code, and which are in general involved in research. Okay. And the other distinguished feature of the ICE definition is that it's required degree level of bachelor or higher. And of course, this would affect our data presented by states, because different states have different higher education structures. Okay, for examples, for Alaska, their 2-year college enrollment is about 1/15 of the total college enrollment. And for Nebraska, this percentage is raised to about 30%, or 1/3. So depending on different states, the number of the student we are looking, or the percent of student we are focused on, can be different, because the states are higher education structures. Okay. That being said, let's look at the data. Okay. Let's look at how we get those data. In this program, and again, if you're not familiar with this program, I'll please refer to my previous video. Okay. And the first thing we do is we try to set the scope for the institution we are looking at. And in our criteria, we basically select all the states, which actually included the outlined area of United States, like Marshall Islands, also the Virgin Islands. And for the sector, we basically select all the sectors. So that means we actually include both the 4-year and the 2-year institutions. But of course, we know that probably only the 4-year institution will be selected, okay, because of the bachelor degree requirement. And once we define the scope of institutions, we go to select the IPEDS majors or IPEDS variables. And in this particular case, that we first search the variable that have the definition related to award, SIP, and also the race. Okay. And once we search those variables, then we filled with the total, so that we can focus on the whole picture instead of the different race. Okay. And the 3 variables we select are the non-resident area in total, and the grand total, and also race, ethnicity, unknown total. Okay. So we select those 3 variables, and then we go to the user majors tab, okay, to define the user's major. And based on the IC definitions, okay, in this case we define the 3 sets of user majors. Okay. For the first set, it's basically consider all the completer or all the degree award degree completers, or the degree completers that with the degree that's higher than the bachelor degree. So there's a doctor degrees, okay, there's a doctor's degrees, there's a bachelor's degree, and the master degree, and the postmaster degree, etc. Okay, and for the major, we basically only looking at the first major. Okay, and so this is for the, and also we select all the zip code. Okay, so basically for this set of user major, we basically select all the degree completer with bachelor degree or higher, and cover all the field. Okay, and the second set of the user majors are those that's defined as the STEM core. So it's basically based on the 4 2-digit zip code. And we define the third set of the user majors, and those are based on the 6-digit code. Okay, 6-digit zip codes. And once we define all that, and we'll query the data. Okay, we will retrieve the data, and we can see over here it's basically show the sectors. The data basically show the sectors, the state, and the STEM, the core, and also the total, all the students, all the completers, and also those STEM related field. Okay, STEM related completers. Okay, and once we retrieve the data, we're going to look at the data. Okay, and let's start it. And of course, that again, if you look at our previous video, through here you will be able to define some of the variables. Okay, some additional measures or the quantities you're interested in. Okay, and let's move to the plot tab. Okay, in this tab, what we show is 3 quantities, and that's the 3 lines. Okay, and they basically are, okay, the orange line is all the completers. Okay, all the completers for different states, and the blue line is the STEM core completer. Those students obtained the STEM degree, and on the green line are those obtained the degree in the STEM related field. Okay, STEM related SIPs. Okay, And you can see in general, the total will be higher than the STEM completers. And in a way, you can sort of see it's a big difference there. Okay, the STEM completer basically are a small proportion of the total completers, other total completers. And this is what we look at over here is by state, and we can see, well, the highest one were in general the bigger state like California, New York, and Texas, of course. Okay, and if you like to look at the overall the national total, you can easily do that by switch this to switch the x-axis to one data point, and click on the calculate all point, and you go back to the plot, and you can look at those numbers. So we're going to look at the STEM total, all degree total, and also the relative field total. Okay. Let's take out of those. Okay, let me recheck. Related field total, all total, and the STEM total. Okay, and you can see there's a total about 264, well, about 2 million completers for the year 2016. And there's about let's say 600,000 in the STEM field. Okay, so roughly it's about let's say 25%, a little bit less than 25% of the total completer are in the STEM field. Okay, STEM related field. And we can also look at the percentage for this. So let's go back to look at all the states, breakdown by state, and then we'll look at the percentage of the STEM. So we'll be looking at the percentage of STEM. Percentage of the STEM. Okay, and you can plot that, and you can see over here. The lower state will be, well, the G will be the Guam, and then there's a DC, okay, and there's the Tennessee, West Virginia, New Hampshire, Nebraska, and Kentucky, and Kansas, and probably also Arkansas, Arizona, and Alabama. Those are few of the lower, few of the states that with lower STEM completers. And if we like to check the national total, again, we can easily do that. I go back to that and calculate the point, and then we look at the STEM 2, and we plot. Okay, and you can see the national total is about 22% of all completers are in the STEM field, STEM or STEM related field. And the definition of the percent STEM 2, we can check it over here. Percent STEM 2, which is basically the STEM total plus the relative field total divided by the all completed total, and then times 100. Okay. Okay. Then once we look at the big pictures. We may like to look at see in the variable we select, we also select the foreign student. So we probably would like to look at how many the degree were awarded to the foreign student. And in order to do that, let's go back to look at state by state. Okay, and in the prod tag we can select. Oh, let's make some comparisons. So we're going to look at let's say the STEM total. Let's look at first how many foreign students obtained the degree in the United States. Okay, so if we look at those two, total alien completer and the total completers, and if you plot that, you can see in general the foreign students are a small proportion of the total degree awarded in the United States. And to look at what's the percentage, we can look at the variable percent alien, and we do a plot. We can see for some states they are pretty high, and those are basically the Massachusetts, DC, and the New York, and Virgin Islands. Okay, remember this is percentages, so you can see it's the highest is about 15.7% or about 16%. Okay, that's the highest, and the lowest can be that's the Puerto Rico. So you probably don't count that's the Guam. So the lower one we probably look at, say, Alaska, which is about 3%, and let's see, the West Virginia, it's about 3.7%, and for the Vermont, it's about 3.7%. Okay. So those are the total number of the percent of the foreign students that obtained a bachelor degree or above in the United States. Okay. And since we are talking about a STEM, we probably like to look at the STEM completer of the foreign student. Okay, and in order to do that, we can look at just the STEM field. So we're going to compare the alien STEM with the total STEM, and probably also should include a relative field. So we're going to have a relative field total and the relative field alien, and let's plot that. Okay, so there's 4 lines over here. Okay, the orange line is the total STEM degree awarded. So let's include the U.S. student and also the foreign student. And the red line, okay, is those awarded to in the relative field total. So that means again it's include the U.S. student and also the foreign student. And the blue line is the one that for the foreign student that's getting award in the STEM core, and the green line is those foreign students that receive award in the STEM related field. Okay. So basically, you can see foreign students consist a smaller percentage of the total. Okay, and to look at the percentage wise, we can look at okay, that's a percent of alien. Well, don't think I have that defined. Okay, don't think I have those defined. Okay, but we can easily do that. Let's go back to layout and let's call it it's a percentage, and it's in the stem, percentage of alien stem, and will be defined that as the alien total, the alien stem alien. Okay, plus relative related alien, and divided by the stem total. I think that's correct. Then stem total. Okay. So let's define that. It's called a percentage of alien stem. So let's add that and recalculate all the point. And we go to the plot. Percent alien stem, percent alien stem. Okay. And if we do that, I think that is not correct. Okay, let's go back to that. Let's redefine that. Okay, let's redefine that. Let's define that as a 2. Actually, it should be divided by stem total plus related total. Okay, so let's define that, and let's calculate all the point. Okay, and then we do that. Okay, so you can see for a foreign student, for some state, it can be up to about 30%. Okay, and for Texas it's about 27%, 28%, and for Connecticut it's about 30%. Okay, so that's by state. Okay, that means inside the STEM completers that the foreign student in some states it consists of about 30%. Okay. And now let's look at the percent of the STEM completer in each of their field, on each of their race. Okay, so what I mean is that we would like to see that, for example, for the United States students, what percentage of the completers are in the STEM field, and compare that to the alien student, alien completers, what percent of the alien completers are in the STEM field. Okay, and I'll skip some of the details. Let me just show you the result directly. Okay, and we have those things already defined as a STEM alien and STEM US. Okay, and we plot that. and we can see that in general, okay, the orange line is for the US student, and the blue line is for the foreign student. Okay, and we can see in general, almost for every single state, the percentage of the foreign student that's obtaining the STEM degree is higher than those of the American student. Okay, and in order to see the national total or national percentage, again we can switch back to just 1 point, and we do calculate all the point, go back to that, and again we select those two variables. Okay, and we plot that, and we can see that for United States students, the percent of the completer that are in the STEM field is about 20%, 19.6, and for a foreign student, that's about 48%. Okay, so that's a big difference. And since we are using the ICE definitions, and let's explain that a little bit. Okay, if we are using the ICE definitions, then the foreign student that in the specified STEM field, they will be allowed to stay in the United States longer after they graduate after they obtain their degree, for the purpose of what we call the practical trainings, and which basically allowed them to seeking employment in the United States for a short period of time, for about 2 years. And this is longer than this period is longer than that is granted to the student that's not in the STEM field. So let's give this pool of STEM completer or STEM foreign students a better chance to changing their non-immigration visa to the immigration visa. So in a way, it's more likely this are the pool of foreign students that are more likely to have incentive to stay in the United States. Okay. I think the purpose of this video is basically provide some basic analysis of the IPEDS complete data in the focus of a STEM degree. Okay, and of course there are many analyses you can do with the IPEDS data and with this program. Okay, and again, thank you for your time, and this is all I have for today. Thanks.